Fire yourself as your own mood manager. Because you don't need to do it. And I promise you that if you are able to fire yourself as your own mood manager, you're going to have so much time and energy and money that you don't even realize that you've been wasting on making yourself feel better. This is Rich Life and the Rich Life Realization Podcast. And in this episode, stay through the very end because I'm going to tell you the secrets of how you are able to fire your mood manager and what life is like without the mood manager. I got to say, it's a lot more simple. Rich Life Realization Podcast is a space to explore the richness and texture of our lives. Ones that we might be missing out on sometimes. I know I sometimes do, but there's so much all around us. There's so much richness. And our goal is to help you see it in every single moment. And one of the best ways you can do that is you fire your mood manager. What do I mean by a mood manager? We'll start with that. Because I was my mood manager. And I got to tell you, I worked myself really hard. I took the job pretty seriously because I wanted to feel good. And I thought that I needed to manage my mood. And I would do everything that I knew how to do in order to manage my mood. I was getting better and better at it, I thought. I would use meditation and yoga and qigong. I would use affirmations. I would use money to buy courses and books. And it was a full-time job. It really was. I woke up earlier and earlier. I was getting up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning to start my meditation routine and my morning routine, to be able to fit in all of my affirmations and cold showers. And I would read all of the books. I wanted to figure out how to be happy because I really wasn't happy. In fact, I had to text my wife a rating of 0 through 10 of how I was feeling that night so that she could know what she was walking into when she got home. And most of the time, it was like a 3 or a 4, or even a 2 or a 1. And it despite all of the things that I was doing, all of the supplements that I was taking, all of the practices that I had, I still felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster every single day. And the reason that I was is because I didn't understand where my emotions were coming from. When you can understand them, that's when you can fire yourself as the mood manager. But I'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Are you being your mood manager? Are you working your regular job and then coming home and having another full-time job of of managing how you feel? Are you spending so much money on vacations or clothing or food or anything that you think might make you feel better? I was. And if you are too, then we can learn something here. We can let go of that job. And here's the secret, is that there's something else that does it even better. And especially when you understand yourself and you understand where your emotions are coming from, that part of you can shine through, can manage your mood for you. You can just drop it. I have. Not all of the time, of course. I still get into a low mood every once in a while, but it doesn't last. It used to last for weeks. It used to last for days. Now it'll last for hours. And it used to be all the time. And now it's every once in a while. Like, now it feels weird to be in a bad mood. And the secret was that understanding of where moods come from. And here it is. If you understand this, this will change your life more than almost anything. But truly understand it, not intellectually, understand it from a space of soul, maybe, space of heart, whatever you want to call it, an inner knowing space. Then it will transform your life. And here it is. Your emotions come from your thinking. That's it. That's all. If you understand that, wow, you don't have to worry about it. And the other part is that you don't have to change your thinking then, because I thought that was the case, that I had to change my thinking. But that was me being the mood manager. I had to use the affirmations, or I had to have positive thoughts. And in fact, what I would do, here's the crazy part. I got to the point where I would try and trigger it. I would put little stickers in my area. And when I looked at that sticker, I would feel something. Be like, oh yes, now I feel expansive. Or I even had it on my fingers. I would train myself to feel relaxed if I use this finger, or connected if I use this finger, or happy and joyful and excited. But then I crashed hardcore because I didn't realize that my emotions were coming from my thinking. They weren't coming from the external circumstances. That's the mistake that almost everybody makes. They think that it's coming from the external circumstances. It's coming from the job, the relationship with spouse, kids, parents, friends, etc., etc. From vacations or spending money or any of that. We think so because sometimes those things can trigger thoughts. And those thoughts can be positive or negative, not positive or negative, but they can feel good or bad in our body when we feel them as emotions. But what if we could completely drop that external circumstance determines our emotions? Because we know it, I think, deep down. We can have something wonderful happen in our lives and kind of feel like meh, meh, or even bad. And we can have something earth-shattering happen and be okay and be resilient and not get lost. But we can get lost too. When we get lost in our own feelings, what is happening is we are forgetting that it comes from our thinking. And then we have to be that mood manager. We have to figure out our moods. We have to problem solve our moods. And when you realize that you don't have to do that, it is freedom. Because, like I said at the beginning, there is something else that can do it for you. When you realize where it's coming from, that it's coming from thought, and you can trust that new thought will come along, that eventually this thought, because the nature of thought is that it ebbs and crests, it comes forth and it dissolves. Now it can come forth and we can kind of give it energy and hold on to it and grasp it and give it life. But we don't have to. And eventually it crashes down, it dissolves, it dissipates, and the emotion follows right along with it. Then I don't have to manage my moods if I know that. If I know how it works at a deep level. My new thought will come along at any minute. And sometimes it is a waiting game. Eventually, even if something terrible has happened, we come back. We're brought back to our own wellness, our own natural, maybe not joy, maybe joy, it could be joy, but natural peace. That is our wellness. And when I saw that, oh, there was a weight off my shoulders. Because I was sucking at being a mood manager. I thought I was doing okay, but I just started to lose control. And what do you do when you lose control? You grip tighter and tighter. And that happens with you sometimes, I'm sure. And then what happened? Oh, I crashed. I drove the plane into the ground without realizing that the plane was made to fly if I let it. And that something else can manage my mood. Something else will bring me back. Eventually, it might take a while. That's fine. It might hurt for a while. It doesn't feel good, but it's fine. And in fact, this is kind of a cool part. I'm going to say this over and over again in my podcast, but it bears repeating. That it hurts is a good thing because it's showing you that the thoughts are starting to go sideways. That those thoughts should not be trusted as truth, that we should start to put on our detective glasses, maybe a monocle, and take a closer look and suspect that they might not be true. That when we are feeling angry at someone, it might be a distorted view of that person, or a distorted view of a situation. And what manages your mood if you don't? Something more capable than you. It is, you can call it whatever names you want. You can call it infinite mind. You can call it the creative intelligence. You can call it God if you want to. But it's not the word that matters, it's what's behind the word. And what's behind the word is the force, the energy that beats your heart, that gives you life. And it's doing 10,000 things. You think you're good at multitasking. This thing is beating your heart while helping you breathe, while changing all of your hormones, adjusting your temperature. Oh my gosh, it's so much more capable than I am. So much more. I want that to do the job of managing my feelings, because it's going to be way better than my personal mind, my intellectual mind, my trying to figure it out and get up here and whir around and get lost in itself mind. And I trust in that to manage my moods. And I have to tell you, it has not let me down one time. And you know what? I don't think it has let you down one time. It might have taken a while. It will let you go and whir around and get lost in it and be in that emotion and trying to wrestle with it and push it away. It will let you do that. But when you get out of your own way, when you fire that mood manager, it'll take over. And it does a way better job. A way better job. Thank you for listening. And I have something to ask of you. If you know someone who does the mood manager job, like takes it seriously, like a full-time position, would you send them this video? It's okay if they don't get it, but maybe it'll plant a seed. Maybe some people will think it's too simple and you can't, yeah, I've got to have control. You have to do that. And of course there is an element of this that if you need to see psychiatric help, if you need things to help you, then do that. Absolutely. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you don't have to fix yourself. You don't have to try and use your own energy to fix your mood. That really, it's a waste of energy. We do it innocently, but it is a waste. And if you really need help, get help, please. But if you need to drop this and come at it from that understanding of how emotions really work, that they really work because they're coming from thought, share that with someone else. This has been the Rich Life Realization Podcast, where we explore the richest life, and may you get to your richest life a little bit more today by firing your mood manager. You have my permission, and you have your own permission to do so today. Thank you.